If it weren't for the wind, we might as well make it the state motto. Another breezy day in eastern Iowa, but it's actually pretty standard for early spring. Weather First meteorologist Garrett Hyde live in studio with why that is in a new Weather IQ segment.
Yeah, it certainly has been. And over the last 30 days or so, average wind gusts have been upwards of about 35 miles per hour or so. And as of right now, as you kind of mentioned, usually we actually do expect some of the highest wind speeds of the year occurring right where we are now, with some of the calmest tending to occur a little bit closer towards the middle of the summer months. But the reason for that being is winds are largely driven by the differences in atmospheric pressure, which is created by differences in temperature due to the uneven heating of the Earth's surface. So low pressure is created as warm air rises away from the surface, creating that area of low pressure, and then the high pressure on the flip side is created as cooler air higher up sinks back down towards the surface. And keep in mind, nature is always trying to reach equilibrium, so that area of high pressure will always send air towards the area of low pressure, creating wind. And of course, the greater the pressure difference, the stronger the winds are going to be between the two. But climatologically speaking, the reason pressure differences are greater now is largely due to the temperature differences from north to south as the seasons start to change. And looking at average temperatures starting in January, we typically see an average difference of around about 50 degrees or so between at least the northernmost and the southernmost area. But this will gradually start to decrease as we get a little bit closer towards the summer months. But the reason January isn't the windiest time of the year is due to the location of the polar jet stream. And during January, the average location of the polar jet sits just towards our south. And as temperatures warm up, will start to move its way northward a bit, moving overhead by late March and into April. So despite the temperature difference being slightly smaller in the springtime, that presence of that jet stream really does help to amplify those winds at the surface. And on the flip side again, we'll see it return back in the fall when that polar jet stream moves southward again, moving back overhead right around about October, November, which if you take a peek at those wind speeds once again, you'll notice that slight bump there between that time frame before starting to stabilize a little bit more heading into the winter. In studio, I'm meteorologist Garrett Hyde with Iowa's News Now.